Okay, so Deadpool and Wolverine. This is this. Where to even start with this film? This is the third Deadpool movie that we have, and this show stars Ryan Reynolds reprising his role as Deadpool, Wade Wilson, and Hugh Jackman coming back after he had seemingly retired from playing Wolverine to play Wolverine again, and this film is also the first time that Deadpool has entered the MCU. Now, for a lot of you who might be listening who might not know or care about all the legal shenanigans that happen behind the scene, which means that you might see a whole bunch of Marvel characters, but they're not necessarily in the same universe. So there's the films that are made by Marvels, your Iron Mans, your Captain America. Then there's a whole thing with Spider-Man where you have them as Sony, and then you had for ages the X-Men. The reason why you haven't seen Captain America, Chris Evans' Captain America, and the X-Men in the same film is because their rights were owned by another studio, which is Fox, who have been making all these X-Men movies for since 2000 or whatever it was that they've been making those films. And Disney bought Fox, and that meant that everybody, so all the fanboys, like myself included, were like, oh my god, that means we're probably going to see the X-Men coming into the MCU. But they have been trying to figure out how they're going to do this. But when they bought them, they had Deadpool, which, well, a lot of the X-Men movies, people had already decided. I mean, by the time they finished with Dark Phoenix, they decided that the X-Men are dead. The X-Men are dead, and the only thing from that universe that was working was Deadpool, because you had two movies that were big, massive hits. Ryan Reynolds had become this whole sort of meta thing and everything like that. Deadpool was working, and people were wondering, oh, but Deadpool is like, an 18 rated foul-mouthed guy who cuts people's limbs off and everything like that. How is he going to fit into the sort of sanitized PG-13 world of the Marvel universe? And there was the whole thing, and this is the film. So this is all to give the background, and this is the film that brings Deadpool into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
And don't we know it?
And don't we know it? Don't we know it? And look, so if you are the kind of person who has complained about Marvel and saying that there's too much to watch because you have to link all these different things to actually understand what's going on, this film leans into that. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that is in this film that I think if you can watch the film and not really have to know the background because they explain it in the film. But to have the full thing, you have to have watched probably Loki season 1 to figure out what's going on with the Time Variance Authority. You have to know because this film is like a meta commentary on the whole thing I have just explained about Disney buying Fox and how are you going to integrate these characters into the Fox universe and everything. The plot of this film is pretty much kind of like, it's a satire. The plot of this film, as far as I'm concerned, is a satire of the whole Disney, Fox, the X-Men movies had gotten crap. It's a satire of that whole thing. It is very much made for, I think, the fans, the people who like this.
Yeah.
It is very much made for the fans. I think you could watch it and not get it, but I think you would be listening and go, "What's up with that? What's up with that? Why is he in it? Why is that a big deal?" Because there's things that they do. People have talked about cameos in this film, and if you have avoided spoilers, there are going to be people showing up in this film that you will not expect to be in this film. That you 100% do not expect to be in this film. The way they even do it, and the payoff lines, and the way that they and essentially, and this is Ryan Reynolds walking around ripping it out of everything. He is extracting urine, taking the best, however you want to say it, out of everything that moves. He's making fun of Marvel, making fun of Disney, making fun of Fox. Making fun of the X-Men, because Deadpool is a character that originally he knows he's in a comic book. He knows he's in a comic book, and this character knows he's in a film, and is constantly commenting on everything that's going on. He even comments on there's even a line about Hugh Jackman's divorce. So he doesn't. Yeah, like, I mean, no. So, but okay. But what I thought about this film, I don't want to talk about the plot of this film because I don't really think that. I think the plot is nice and meta if you understand what's going on in the background with Fox and Disney and people who made X-Men movies and people who made, like, the Iron Man movies and everything like that. The Fox is like the plot is nice and meta, but I don't really think it matters that much. Or I really don't think it matters that much. But I have to say, I laughed so hard in this film. There were so many bits.
Did I.
So many bits where I was laughing hard. There were bits where
I mean, yeah, with the I like Yeah, no, I'm thinking about it now, and I'm just laughing so loud with all the surprises and that, and it's like,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, that's like it's like, oh my God.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's all these things, and obviously we want to try and we're trying to very very hard
yeah,
to
yeah,
not
yeah.
give any spoilers or give anything away, but because I think that this is a film that, oh my god, don't let anybody spoil anything for you, because
No, no.
some of the payoffs are just glorious. Some of the payoffs are wonderful. There's bits where, like, characters show up on screen, and I'm like,
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's
oh.
like, whoa, where did this? Just the way they all sort of going, oh yeah. By the way, how's I like the way, and it's just the one line comments like really quick.
Yes,
So
yes,
and so this happened to so. Oh, sorry about that. It's the quips.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Oh, the guys have gone up against him, and so they're all mentioned anyway. Even if they're mentioned, if they don't appear, they're still mentioned, aren't they?
yeah.
Like,
And I really feel like it's the kind of thing that you could go into a spoiler, but bigger spoiler. But
oh,
this
love to.
film, this in the same way, like I remember talking about Spider-Man: No Way Home, and
Mm.
Spider-Man: No Way Home was a bit like, it was a bit of a commentary on the Spider-Man movies and the way the Spider-Man movies have been made, and how the rights have been in different places, and it's sort of like honoring that. And this film is like that, but with the Fox universe. This film is like that with, and the about pretty much the whole film is a commentary on how these films are made. So,
Yeah,
so
definitely.
there's bits where he's, it's kind of like how they do this thing in The Boys as well, where they have like different layers of satire. So there's a scene where you have Deadpool sat down with, no, I'm not going to say who it is, but he's sat down with a character. And he's kind of saying, oh yeah, so when's the boss gonna get here? And he
Yeah,
could be talking about a character within the universe of the film, or he could be talking about Kevin Feige, who is the big head honcho
big head
at
on. Yeah,
Marvel.
yeah, so yeah.
He
So
could be talking about, when is he gonna get here? When's he gonna tell me what I have to do? All that kind of stuff. Is he gonna let me in? And it is, and the whole film is just like that. And I laughed hard. I thought it was great. I thought it was
I
fun.
did. Yeah.
I thought it was gory. I think the opening scene. Oh my god, the opening scene. Because one of the big problems when this film was announced is that people said that we had Logan, and Logan was a brilliant film, and it was a brilliant way of ending the Hugh Jackman's character arc. Like, Logan was a brilliant film, and when they first came out, people were like, "Oh my god!" But you're gonna ruin Logan because that was a perfect way to say goodbye to Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and now you're gonna bring him back and everything. And they said the whole way is like, look, don't worry, we are going to honor the memory of Logan. We're going to honor the memory of Logan, and they both do that, and they also very much not do that. Right at the beginning of the film, like with the whole thing, which is never. Anyway, I'll stop talking. I'll stop talking because I could talk for ages. Sean, what? Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, no, I agree with everything you said there. I mean, there's some great plots in it, and they do a well, you even see they show. Oh yeah, the other bit you mentioned as well, like the credits are going on as well as the post credit scene, which is
Yep,
absolutely
yep, yep.
fantastic. But even the bits of all like previous movies where they come
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and all the ways, it is, and I think they're trying to sort of reset everything. I think this is like a film that I got the feeling that this was the film they're going to, like, because some of the comments he makes are like, whoa, this is like, we're
Or
not
like I like he's like a
ready,
Marvel Jesus.
yeah, ready for a new thing with, like, a new take on the X-Men, a new take on the
Yeah.
so they're going to start the whole process off again, maybe. I mean, if
We,
everybody's not too superheroed out, but
well,
yeah, I like the. I'm glad they put him in that uniform as well. What you see in
oh,
the thing there, because
that they've gone for a comics
yeah,
accurate uniform. A
yeah.
comics,
So
yeah.
and even the just
Oh
the
yeah,
comic.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about. I know
You
what
know
you're
what I'm
talking
talking
about.
about.
I know
It
what
was just this film was just so much fun. It
it
was just
was.
really, really was a great watch, and I'm probably going to go and see the 3D version. I think just purely for the fact that, like you say, the opening scene and all stuff like that. But I think it'd be pretty good to see in 3D myself. But yeah,
I mean, the opening scene is just so irreverent. It's so
yeah,
irreverent. I mean, there's even a line in it where Deadpool says to Wolverine, he says like, "Oh yeah, there's this thing called the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You're joining, but it's like, unfortunately you're joining at a bit of a low point." And he
yeah.
actually
So
he
it actually says that. Yeah,
he
yeah,
actually says that to him,
yeah.
which is just him making, like, ripping it out of everything. And one of the things that I mean, I have gone on record as saying as I hate the multiverse. I do not think the multiverse is good. I think it leads to bad storytelling and eventually leads to everything falling apart. And I think the only way you can pull off a multiverse thing properly, which is what the Spider-Man. Yes, I know. Stop talking. Get off the stage. But it's what the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie, the Spider-Verse movies do. Is the only way you can actually do that with is if you make fun of the multiverse, is if you take the piss out of the multiverse. That's the only way in which you can actually go. I think you can go forward with it, and this film does that almost perfectly. It does that almost perfectly about how stupid a comment it is. There's even a bit. All I'll say is that there's a bit where Deadpool pretty much is giving a speech, and the speech is pretty much to the audience. So saying, like, oh yeah, sure, what you were saying is like, haven't you had enough? Haven't you had enough? Why are we still doing this? But yeah, I liked it. I loved it. I thought it was funny. I thought it was hilarious. I thought Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds were brilliant together.
Brilliant.
I think even with
I think there was one scene, and I think it's the scene when like the multi characters turn up. I think there's one scene where you can actually see that Hugh Jackman is actually really, really enjoying himself. He's almost like he's almost like trying not to laugh. Do you know what I mean? I sort of caught it in the thing. He's like thinking, oh, "This is great. This is just great." Yeah, no, good stuff.
Yeah, no, I thought it was really good. I think if you've liked your Marvel stuff, this film is going to be great. And I just had a big stupid grin on my face the whole way through. And we'll see what they're gonna do next. We'll see what they're gonna do next. So that is it. How many stars would you give it, Sean?
Oh, this would be a huge four.
Yeah,
I think
it's
possibly.
A 4.
Yeah, it's a 4 all the way. It was just so much fun. It was just I was trying to work out another criteria about giving things, and I would watch this again without hesitation. You know what I mean? Some films,
100%.
We're probably going to talk about later. I wouldn't bother again, but
honestly, I mean, this film was so and there's so many bits, like there's scenes in it where you're just this is a film that is built to be paused and looked over every screen to see how many in-jokes they're putting in there. There's bits where I'm going, okay, what's that? What's that sticking out of the ground? Where did that come from? Where did that come from? I was like, just stop the film for a second. I need to figure out what that is.
But that, to me, one of the greatest moments was like, the hood when they end up in the the hood bit. Yeah, that was that to me. That was like, oh, what? How about that? But this is, Deadpool was just like, oh, he's just so excited, isn't he? You know the bit I'm talking about. Yeah,
I know exactly the bit you're talking about, and you see, and Sharon's face is beautifully is beautifully encapsulating for us what is going to happen with these films when people who have seen the film are trying to talk about the film around people who haven't seen the film without spoiling it. The people who haven't seen the film are just going to be like, I'm very, very happy for you. Yeah, you saw a great film. Well, the people who have seen the film and are trying not to spoil, are just going to be like, oh my god, that bit! Oh, he knows what I'm talking. Oh my god, that was so great! So yeah, I think it's a little bit of a miracle of a film. I think it's a little bit of a miracle of a film within this whole sort of superhero thing. I think it's brilliant. But let us leave that 4 stars for Deadpool and Wolverine.